people came to pick a fight with the police. The people that came to pick the fight with police were the issue-motivated groups on the left. I can tell you that the March for Australia group, they were peaceful, they were engaging, they listened to our instructions, they did what they were told, and they protested by example. The other group, and there were a number of issue-motivated groups known to us, we knew they were coming. We had to deploy hundreds of police. This is what was thrown at police today, and I think Melbourne has had a gutful. I look on the social media streaming platforms of some of these issue-motivated groups that are saying police used excessive force. The fact was, these were being thrown at police. Bottles filled with shards of glass were being thrown at the police. Rotten fruit was being thrown at police. Bins were put on fire. Flags were on fire. And I think, really enough's enough. The disruption to Melbourne, to the general public who want to come into our fine city, the disruption to businesses, we really need to find an answer of what we do. These are people who come, they're not coming to protest. I heard the Chief Commissioner talk about protesters having compassion and care for others. This is certainly not what has been displayed today. People came to pick a fight with the police. The people that came to pick the fight with police were the issue-motivated groups on the left. I can tell you that the March for Australia group, they were peaceful, they were engaging, they listened to our instructions, they did what they were told, and they protested by example. The other group, and there were a number of issue-motivated groups known to us, we knew they were coming. We had to deploy hundreds of police. These hundreds of police, not only today, but the man hours and the weeks of planning, preparation, engagement with these people, and the impact on Victoria Police resources at a time when we should be having police on the front line looking at community safety, it appalls me really. And I'm being really strong, and I show you the rocks because I think the public need to see what the police are being targeted with. We deployed force against these people, and rightly so in my view. It was a force at the level nearly that we had at the Land Forces Defence expedition or exhibition earlier in the year. We had police injured. I have a sergeant, a female sergeant who went to hospital with a suspected broken hand because she was kicked at. I have a member with a nasty gash on his leg from Corio. We are drawing police resources from all around the state to police this protest activity in Victoria, in Melbourne, and it happens every week without fail. Now, there are people that legitimately come to protest, but there are people who don't. And I think the Chief Commissioner is reviewing our response to how we protest and what our model looks forward, because to me, and I'm a senior member of Victoria Police, I've been in this organisation 39 years, the impost and the impact it's having on the members working every weekend and on frontline community safety is massive. So I just ask you, it's not a small rock. We had our port members who come out with their riot gear and their shields. These rocks were cracking some of those shields today. So they're being thrown with force, they're being thrown with the view to harm our members. They come, they're cowards, they come in face coverings, they come in masks, they come with hoodies on, they hide behind each other. You can see them. Today they had the umbrellas up, they duck down behind the water-filled barriers, they duck down, they pull the rocks out of their bags and they throw them as hard as they can at the police. And it's got to stop.